Hi everybody. In this video I want to talk to you a little bit about God. Don't worry, I'm not going to get all preachy and get involved and try to convince you to be a believer or anything like that. What I want to do is approach it from the standpoint of personal growth. I used to think that a very good question to ask myself or someone else was, do you believe in God? There really is no right or wrong answer here. You either do or you don't, or you're undecided. You don't know whether you do or you don't. But I felt that was a good question to start on the road to personal growth. Do you believe in God? Or maybe, do you really believe in God? But I've come to think that there may be a better question that can involve our own personal growth. And the question I like now is, do you have a relationship with God? And this is one that I would encourage you to be very honest with yourself and to spend some time thinking about it. Do you have a relationship with God? And one of the ways I think you can assess this is look at how you have relationships in your life, and they go from the full length of the scale, let's say from 1 to 5. And your top relationships are the people you love the most, and you spend time with them, and you talk with them, and you're involved with their lives, and they are involved with you, and it's a very, very close relationship. And the next level of relationship is maybe friends, where you don't see them as much, but you talk with each other and you keep in touch. And eventually the lowest level of relationship might be, yeah, I know you're there, but that's the extent of it. There is no more communication than that. So you may want to think about in answering this question for yourself, what would be an example of a current relationship that you have that would be an example of the type of relationship you have with God? I thought about this, and I came up with one that I think applies to my relationship with God. I have an aunt that probably the last time I saw her was 30 or 40 years ago. And I never really ever kept in touch with her. But I always knew she was there. And one time at a funeral, she came in for the funeral. I saw her for a day. We were able to talk a little bit. And then that was the end of that. And probably I haven't seen her for 20 years. But I always knew that she was there. But one time, things changed. My mother used to communicate with my aunt, who was her sister, pretty regularly. And when my mother passed away, I was kind of aware of the situation that, gee, my aunt, who lives alone, may not have anybody calling her up anymore, and she might be lonely or something like that. So I gave her a call, checked up on her, see how she was doing. And what happened there is I started to call her on a pretty regular basis, every couple of weeks or so. And we got closer to each other, and we talked. She told me about her life, asked about mine, and same thing. I asked her how she was doing, and what happened is the relationship with my aunt changed. And instead of being, I know she's out there somewhere, but really no involvement at all, to I know she's there and I communicate with her on some sort of a regular basis. And I thought that was a good example of my relationship with God. And that then gives me something to think about. I mean, I'm going to talk to you some more in future videos about this, but I was at least able to identify this is my relationship with God. It kind of mirrors the relationship I have with my aunt. So do some thinking about that. The main question to you that I put out there in this video is, do you have a relationship with God? I encourage you to be honest with yourself and try to find a person-to-person relationship that you think mirrors the relationship that you have with God. Hope this helps. More to come. Bye now.